First tonight to the triple murder trial which has captivated the world. That Patterson deliberately poisoned her lunch guests with death cap mushroom.
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago.
Imagine sitting at a lunch table, surrounded by the people you've known for years. Family, trust, warmth, laughter. The smell of freshly baked pastry fills the room, plates are passed around, and forks dig into a dish lovingly made. You don't know it yet, but this is your final meal. In a few hours, your organs will shut down. You will cry out in pain. You will not survive. And the person who cooked that meal may have known exactly what she was doing. This is not just a case about food. This is about betrayal, the most intimate, most devastating kind. A murder that unfolded through trust and a mushroom. July 29th, 2023. Leongatha, a serene Australian town, quietly nestled in Victoria. That afternoon, Erin Patterson invited her former in-laws for a family lunch. She said it was a gesture of goodwill, an attempt to rebuild bridges, mend tensions, start fresh. She served beef Wellington, a classic dish, puff pastry, tender meat, and what she described as sautéed mushrooms. Her guests, Don and Gail Patterson, Heather Wilkinson, and Ian Wilkinson, all accepted the invitation with little hesitation. After all, Erin was family. But hours after the meal, all four guests began showing signs of severe gastrointestinal distress, vomiting, diarrhea, dizziness. At first, it seemed like ordinary food poisoning, but the next day things took a darker turn. Doctors soon realized they weren't dealing with ordinary food contamination. This was poisoning, deadly poisoning. Toxicology reports revealed traces of Amanita phalloides, the infamous death cap mushroom, responsible for over 90% of mushroom-related deaths worldwide. It mimics edible mushrooms in appearance, but inside it's loaded with amatoxins, toxins that attack the liver and kidneys slowly and irreversibly. Don, Gail, and Heather succumbed to the poison within days. Ian Wilkinson, a beloved local pastor, barely survived after a liver transplant and weeks in critical care. The community was stunned. A peaceful family gathering had become a triple homicide investigation. Erin claimed she had no idea the mushrooms were dangerous. She said she bought them from an Asian grocery store and cooked them without realizing the risk. Police weren't convinced. They discovered Erin had gone mushroom foraging in a forested area weeks earlier, a location known to be a hotspot for death cap mushrooms. GPS data from her phone, combined with forensic evidence, painted a chilling picture. Authorities also uncovered that Erin had used a food dehydrator, often used to preserve mushrooms, but oddly, she had thrown it away just after the poisoning occurred. Then came the inconsistencies. In one statement, Erin claimed she had eaten the beef Wellington herself, but didn't fall ill. Later, she admitted removing the mushrooms from her portion because she doesn't like mushrooms. Then she said she was hospitalized for unrelated stomach issues. Each version seemed to shift just enough to confuse investigators, but not enough to clear suspicion. And behind all this, a deeper story. For years, Erin had a fractured relationship with her ex-husband's family. There were property disputes, personal conflicts, and family tensions that had long gone unresolved. Some believed the lunch was not a peace offering, but a trap. Detectives pieced together a timeline: her mushroom foraging, online searches about toxins, the suspicious disposal of kitchen appliances, and her odd emotional detachment following the deaths. Neighbors described her as reserved. Others recalled heated arguments with family, but no one imagined she was capable of something so calculated and so cruel. In 2025, Erin Patterson was formally charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The trial gripped the nation. The media dubbed it the Mushroom Murders. Headlines painted Erin as a cold manipulator. Others argued she was mentally unstable, a woman on the edge who made a tragic mistake. In court, prosecutors laid out the chilling facts. Expert mycologists testified about the preparation and potency of the death cap. Doctors explained the slow, torturous death the victims endured. The prosecution argued Erin had motive, method, and means. The defense countered that there was no definitive proof of intent, no witness, no direct confession, just circumstantial connections. But the jury wasn't convinced. Erin was found guilty on all charges. During sentencing, she was emotionless. No apology, no breakdown, just silence. The judge described the crime as the ultimate betrayal of trust. He sentenced her to life in prison, with a minimum of 30 years before she could even apply for parole. As the gavel fell, the courtroom erupted in quiet sobs. Family members wept. Ian Wilkinson, the lone survivor, said nothing publicly, but his grief was visible in his eyes. He had lost not only his wife, but his faith in the bonds that tie us together. The aftermath left scars on the entire community. The house where the lunch took place now sits empty, overgrown, silent, a place where time seems to have stopped. The psychological weight of this case went far beyond the courtroom. It exposed the fragility of family relationships, how years of resentment can quietly boil beneath the surface. Erin's friends described her as soft-spoken, even sweet, but in hindsight, there were red flags: isolation, bitterness, quiet rage masked as passivity. Experts say poison is a coward's weapon, but also a strategic one. It requires planning, it requires detachment, and in most cases, it requires a victim's trust. What drives someone to poison their own family? Is it hate, a cry for control, or simply emotional decay that no one noticed? What's even more disturbing is the possibility that this wasn't her first attempt. Investigators reopened prior health complaints involving Erin's ex-husband. No charges were laid, but the implications lingered. To this day, Erin Patterson has never confessed. No remorse, no explanation, only silence. This wasn't a crime of passion. It wasn't a spontaneous act. It was deliberate, chilling, and executed with a knife and fork. Today, the story is still discussed on news panels, true crime forums, and dinner tables across the world. It reminds us that the most dangerous people are not always strangers in the dark. Sometimes, they're people we once called family. Erin Patterson, once seen as a quiet, educated woman, a mother, a wife. In public, she was polite. Some even called her gentle. But within her private world, tensions brewed. Her marriage to Simon Patterson, son of 2 of the victims, had fallen apart under pressure. He was supposed to be at that fatal lunch but canceled last minute. That decision may have saved his life. Simon would later speak about their strained relationship and an earlier event where he fell violently ill after eating food Erin had prepared. Public reaction was intense: anger, confusion, sadness. The story dominated headlines, flooded social media, and unsettled dinner tables across Australia. The idea that a family meal could become a murder scene, it broke something deeper than trust. Ian Wilkinson, the lone survivor, kept silent. He didn't chase interviews or attention, but his presence at the funerals, frail and leaning on a cane, said everything. A man who had lost not only his wife, but the sense of safety that home and family once gave him, and the children. Erin and Simon's kids, now left with a legacy of grief, shame, and endless questions. They lost grandparents and a mother. The meal that was meant to reconnect had destroyed. She didn't pull a trigger. She didn't wield a blade. She simply set a table and let poison do the rest. This case reminds us that evil doesn't always come in darkness. Sometimes it comes with an apron, a smile, and a home-cooked dish. Next week, we'll uncover another chilling story, one where truth hid in plain sight for years until it screamed to be seen. If this case gripped your heart, subscribe for more real crime stories.